Hello.
Hi,
Hi, good evening, Khoi.
Wendy.
How are you?
Yeah, I feel good. How about you?
I'm good too. So, are you ready for the presentation of your homework?
Yes, I have done writing.
Oh, really? Okay. So, I hope you're ready and I hope you can be able to send it to me so
Yes.
that I could transfer that one to the presentation so that we can see it.
Yeah.
Okay? And then after giving me the copy, so you are going to say it also. Okay? Oh, okay. So how many paragraphs you've made?
Um, one, two. I don't know. Wait.
Okay, let's try it. Just for a moment.
All main paragraph.
Okay, for a while. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, I hope you can see this one, Koi. Can you see it?
What?
Can you see the presentation? Ah, not yet. Right? Okay, just for a moment. I have to share it to you. Okay, can you see that? Can you see the presentation, Koi?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, it's just what is this one? Um Small, so I need to transfer the others on the other presentation. Okay, just for a moment, okay? So that we can make it bigger. Okay, in general. Okay, I hope you can see it now, Koi. Can you see it clearly?
Yes, clearly.
Yeah, okay. Now tell me, which do you think would be your title in here? So this one is an essay, right?
Yes.
Okay. So which part of this essay would be the introduction? Can you tell me from in up to?
In the park to maintaining the names.
Okay, maintaining their names. Okay, just for a moment. I have to do like this. Okay, like that. And then second paragraph is from on up to. Okay, would you kindly tell me which would be the second paragraph?
Second paragraph is on the contrary
On the contrary,
to cultures
ah,
and education.
cultures and education. Okay, just for a moment. I have to. Okay. Okay, next. Which do you think would be the third paragraph? From people up to
First paragraph is people living in big families.
whenever they feel struggle with the pressure
No, no, no.
that life puts on.
On the contrary to their children mental health.
Okay, so on the contrary, so that would be the end.
No,
Am I
why,
right?
why it is too short?
Okay.
Just again.
Now, the third paragraph would be from people up to
From people living in large family to their children mental health, mental health.
the
In the last,
children, and they
last sentence, the last sentence.
up to here. So
Yes,
that would be the second paragraph.
the
Am I
third,
right?
the third paragraph.
The third rather. Okay. Or I mean the second paragraph of the body.
Ah,
Okay?
okay,
Yes.
I get
So
it.
this one is the introduction, and these are all the body. Okay? Okay,
Hello.
just for a moment. I am okay.
I spent 2 hours to accomplish this essay.
To do this. Wow, very good. Okay. But of course, you have to do that just only for 40 minutes, right? So remember that one. So that means you need to do a lot of writings, okay?
Yes,
Okay. I'm going to explain that one to you later, okay? So give me time to correct this one. Okay, just for a moment. Okay, look at your work now. So look at this one now. Okay, just for a moment. I have to wait for a while. Okay. Okay, look at this one now. So we had already three paragraphs in here. So most likely the introduction part would be this, right?
yes,
And then this one is the first paragraph of your body. And then the second paragraph of your body. Am I right?
sure.
Okay, up to children's mental health. Okay, just for a while. I have to make this one bigger a little bit.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay. Okay, that's it. I cannot do it now. Okay. So that would be in full. So this one,
Oh, it's okay. I can see clearly.
yeah. Okay. Now, on the next slide, which do you think would be the third paragraph of the body? So from in general up to
To the
destruction of
destruction
the earth.
of the earth. Yes,
Okay. And then this one would be the
the end.
concluded part or concluding part, which is the conclusion. So to conclude, because it has the word conclude, right?
Yes.
Okay, just for a moment. Okay. Okay, so sorry, I cannot make this one bigger, okay? Not unless I'm going to transfer other paragraphs on the next slide. Okay, I'm going to transfer them just for a moment so that we can be able to see bigger.
And easy.
Okay, wait. Mhm. Okay. Okay. So here it is now. So this one would be your final essay, your work. And you said while ago that it takes 2 hours to do this, right? Okay, let's try to count how many stanzas. So we have one. So this is the first one, right? Okay, I have to check for a while. I have to do this just for a moment. Mhm. Okay, okay. So here it is now. Now look at this one, Koi. In your introduction part, so how many sentences you've made? So we have one,
Two.
two sentences. Okay? But in your sentences, you're able to use commas, right?
Yes.
Okay, you were able to separate ideas from one ideas to the other ideas, and that's also good. Okay, because just what I have told you in making an essay, we should have to remember that in the introduction part there would be the points of reference or the points that we need to discuss on. um, Make sure that on the introduction part you were able to put in here what are the keywords that we need to discuss. Okay, now let's try to analyze now your introduction. So what would be the guide questions in here that you need to elaborate? What do you think?
The guy question.
Is this one, am I
What is
right, or
question? What do you mean?
this one, like this, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, so you were able to discuss about this one. Now, look at this one, Koi. In this essay, you must write about the pasts. Okay?
Yes.
So, what do you think would be the points of discussion that we need to discuss in this particular essay? What do you think?
You say again.
Yes, in this particular essay, in this essay that you are going to do, what do you think would be the points of discussion that we need to elaborate? Why? Because in the body part, that would be the parts that you need to elaborate based on your introduction. That's why I'm telling you that in the introduction part, you have to put in there the
Idea.
important things that you need to discuss, but just only an introduction. Something that you just have to give a hint to your readers that this might be the things that we need to tackle. And then on the body parts, that's the time that you have to explain things. And what are you going to explain on the body parts? So you need to discuss whether the families were larger in the past, and then you need to compare families. And I'm telling you, right, that it should be in sequence or in proper order. It should not be in any order. Okay? Because if you are going to discuss, you wanted to discuss this one, okay, you wanted to this, or you also put another discussions about this, it's going to be um not a good essay. Okay, now remember, in making a very good essay, you should have to follow the sequence. That's why we have the parts of the essay. We have the introduction, we have the body, and we have the conclusion. And in the body parts, that part of the essay wherein you can be able to tell and explain everything that is based on your introduction. That's why I'm asking you, what do you think would be the things that we need to discuss in this particular essay of yours? It should be very important to know, Khoi. Why? Because that must be put in your introduction part.
Yes.
Um, in the introduction part, I want to see there the keywords
Peace
that
word.
you wanted to explain on the body part. It should have connections with the introduction. Okay, like for example, okay, um, okay, I should say in the past, okay, in the past, um, in the past I am going to write an essay. I am going to write an essay about the past, okay, and in the past we should have to remember that families can also be big, can also be small. Okay? But do not explain there because that's the introduction part. Let the reader think, oh, it's nice to read. Okay? Because you are able to give the readers an idea. Okay? That means you don't need to give anything. You don't need to give informations. Let your readers think. Sometimes an introduction can be a question. Like, for example, do you know what happens in the past? Question mark, right? So that would also be a good introduction. Do you know your family in the past? Right? So that would also be a very good introduction part so that the readers should have the understanding or a hint, oh, it's very nice to read because there would be catching question, right? Or you may say, I believed that um, the present has something to do in the past. Do you believe on that? That would also be a very good introduction part, right? And then after that, you have to discuss, do you believe that in the past, there would also be big and small families? They could also be happy or sad, even, even they're just using traditional way of life. Do you believe in that?
I believe.
Right? So that would also be a very good introduction so that your readers should have an idea. Oh, this one is a very good and interesting essay. I should have to finish reading all of them because I wanted to understand what happened in the past. Right?
Yes.
And then after that, go on with your essay. explain everything on your essay. So what will be the first keywords that you need to explain? Let's say, for example, you ask, do you know in the past? Okay, or do you know that in the present there would be connections in the past? Like that, right? And then on your body part, because you were able to mention about connections of the present in the past, so in the body part, you need to explain everything. Okay? The connection of the present in the past, it's because of blah 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 blah. That's the time that you need to give relevant examples from your own knowledge and experience. So when we say knowledge and experience, that would coming from the story, right? The story of what? The story
Life.
of your parents, the story of your grandparents. So you need to conduct as you need to conduct an answer and question portion with them in order to know the past, or you have to research about in the past, right? Before you can be able to say something about in the past. Why? Because if you don't have any idea, you cannot write a good essay. If you don't have an idea, if you don't have um, a background of what is happening, right? Because if you don't know what happens in the past, you just rely on the present. So how can you able to discuss the advantages and the disadvantages of those families before than the families now,
Interesting.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, let's try to have a what do you guys want? An analyzation of your essay. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready for that?
Ready.
Okay. So let's start with your introduction. Would you kindly read the introduction for me, please?
What?
Would you kindly read your introduction for me?
Of
Okay,
course.
kindly read your introduction.
In the past, larger families with small children are said to have increased wealth and prosperity.
Mm-hmm.
Not only these ordinary households adopted the idea, but those lords and royal families also did the same,
Okay.
due to maintaining their names.
Okay. Now, in this particular introduction, did you able to explain the key ideas in here that you wanted to explain in the body? Okay, let's try to analyze what are the keywords that you should discuss in the body. Would you kindly give me that? Okay, I want you to point out to me where in this particular introduction that we can also find in the body parts more deep explanation in based on, remember this, based on the position, or we should say that based on the that it happens. Okay, it should be in order. Okay. Okay, so what do you think are those things that we need to understand?
In the first sentence,
Okay.
in the past, larger families with small children are said to have increased wealth and prosperity.
Okay.
Key word, key answer.
Okay, actually, in this particular introduction of yours, I can see the thesis statement in here. And you know what a thesis statement would mean? The thesis statement, it's a statement, it's just only one to two sentences that would tell something about the things that you need to discuss in your body. And I see thesis statements in here. I can see that on your last part of your introduction. What are those? You mentioned about ordinary households adopt this idea. Okay? But dukes, lords, and royal families also did the same. So, that means you wanted us to understand what are the things that ordinary households adopt. What are the things that this duke's households adopts? And what are the things that lords adopts? And what are the royal families also did the same, just like the ordinary household adopts. So I want to see that one on your body because you were mentioned about this. And remember again, that thesis statement can be found at the last 1 to 2 sentences of your introduction. Okay? Are there any connections when we say ordinary household with the families? Are there any connections? Yes or no?
I think
Yes, because when you say households, it's composed of families also, right?
yes.
But you mention in here ordinary household. Now, readers sometimes couldn't understand what are ordinary households if you're not going to explain it to us,
Peace,
right?
peasant.
Huh?
I think we can replace household with peasant. Because
Yes, those who are, there are stages of life before, right?
yes,
Okay, we have the so-called the servants. So those who are serving the dukes, the lords, and the royal families. Right?
yes.
Okay. So it should be there, supposed to be in the explanation of that. I would like to see that on your body. That you have to explain what are ordinary households those times. Okay? And compare that also to the present time. That's why in this particular essay, because there are also kinds of essay, so what are you going to use? So there are two kinds of essay that you are going to use in here. What are those? We have compare and contrast essay. Did you understand? Why?
Yes.
Because you are going to compare ordinary household from the household of the dukes, household of the lords, and household of the royal families. So therefore, I would like to see in there, okay, in your explanation, everything about that. Because these are the things that you need to focus on.
Okay.
Did you understand what I mean? Now, going back to our where is it? Okay, going back to the essay that you wanted to make now. So, write about the past, right? Okay, discuss whether families were larger in the past. Compare families today with families in the past. And write about the advantages and its advantages having a lot of people in the family. Now, what do you think would be centers in this particular essay that you are going to make? So you are just going to discuss, Khoi, about families, small and large families.
Yes.
Okay? Explain through an essay what or how these families before compared to the families now. Okay? And then after that, you need to compare, right? Okay, families, whether big or large, big or small families, right? And then after that, you were able to compare families today with families in the past. And then after that, give advantages and disadvantages of having a lot of people in the family. That would be big family, right? And then at the end, you need to conclude to give your own opinion and explain why. Now, going back in your essay, do you think you answered, you use the guide questions in here? Were you able to use the guide questions in here?
Yes, the first
That's
set.
the question. Okay. Were you able to what is one to mention, or were you able to discuss this particular points to remember? Now, it's very important, Koi. Remember this one. Do not go beyond with the topic. Why? If there are questions or guide questions like this, you should have to focus on the questions only as your guide. Do not go beyond that.
Okay.
Okay? And therefore, what I wanted to see in here or to find in your introduction is that I want to see in here how families, whether big or small families in the past and at the present. Okay? You mention in here households. Also, it's also a family. Okay? But did did we ask, or is our question is all about households?
Yes,
Did
also.
the, did our questions in there mention about the dukes, the lords, okay, the royal families, the ordinary family? Maybe you can put this one koi in your conclusion part. Why? Because this one is based on your, again, going back in here, based on your own
Opinions.
opinion.
Okay.
Okay? So maybe you have to put that one at the conclusion part. Okay? That actually this one is a very good, maybe a very good conclusion part, Koi. Okay? Because you were able to mention about this one. But of course, you need to maybe to rephrase a little bit about that. That as we can see, as of this, as of at the present, and if we try to compare that one in the during those times, we can see that ordinary household adopt this particular idea, but compared to the dukes, compared to the lords, and compared to the families, okay, they can also do the same with a view to maintaining their names. But look at this one. Ordinary households, who does the work? Who does the households? It's within the members of the family. Do you think the dukes, the lords, and the royal families can do the same with the ordinary households can do? No, they don't have, because they have servants to serve them. And the servants are the one making all the households.
No, I mean,
Right? Because dukes, lords cannot do that. They don't know how to do that because they will going to hire someone to do the job for them. Right? They just have to, okay, do this one. Would you kindly give me a water? Would you kindly do this one? Right? Because they have money, they have powers. So they just have to hire someone to do the dirty job. But look at the ordinary household. Ordinary households within the group, within that family, can do all the tasks. They have their particular tasks in the family, right? Like,
yes,
for example, the big brother. Okay, big brother, you have to do this. Okay, this would be your task. Okay, little sister, you have to do a simple house chores. Okay, and then the father will going to go to the work. Okay, and the mother will going to take charge of the home. So those are the people who did an ordinary households. Okay? And the dukes and the lords and the royal families cannot do that one. So we cannot say that they are also doing the same thing because they're not doing the dirty works. So who does that? Of course, the servants, right? Okay. Now, I wanted to see in here that we just have to focus much more on this particular topic. We will not going to go beyond that. So I would like to see, maybe in the introduction part, you have to say that, don't you know that families before and families now has or have relationship? Because I do believe that that at the present there would be relationship in the past. Okay? And after that, discuss a little bit about whether you have a big family and whether you have a small family, whether it's in the past and it's the present, it's it's just the same, whether past and the present. But I do believe also that changes takes over time. So you were able to mention about the what families, larger families and small families, right?
yes,
Okay? And then you were able to compare also families before and families in the past. But it's just only a hint. You were not able to explain that, right? So where are you going to explain that? It's in the body part.
okay,
Okay? And again, in the body part, it should be in proper order. Okay? Okay, you mentioned about families that are small and large. So mention that one together. Okay? Do not mention about others in here. Mention that one together. Okay, once you uh, did that, you mentioned that, go to another paragraph, mention the comparison between families today and the families in the past. Or you may say in your introduction part, okay, this particular essay focuses on, okay, on the explanation of the families before and the families today, whether big or small, advantages and disadvantages of having a big family. Then you are able to capture that in an introduction, right?
get it,
Your thesis statement's there. So focus is much more on the big and small families, the comparison of the families before and the families today, the advantages and disadvantages of having a big family. That's it. You were able to cover everything. You weren't able to miss, right? Okay. Although actually this particular essay that you made, Khoi, is also a very good essay. Okay, if you are going to choose your own topic. Did you understand what I mean?
yeah, I
If
get
you don't have topic or if you don't have the so-called guide questions,
it,
well, use this. Okay? Because this one is good. But I am going to recommend to follow what is us. Okay?
yes,
If there are guide questions like this. If you don't have a guide question, wow, this one is perfect. Okay? This one is very good. Why? Okay. The introduction part, ha? I could say that in the introduction part, this one is a perfect introduction part because I can see in here that there are there are thesis statements that you wanted to explain in your body. But let me see in your body if you were able to mention about these things that you mentioned in your introduction. Okay? Okay. So I'm going to read that. On the contrary, families in the modern era are likely or era are likely to possess fewer people than ones in the past. For some reason, such as changes in conception and cognition about cultures and education. Okay, actually, you mentioned that here, right?
yes,
Okay, but it has contradicting to your thesis statement.
yes,
Because the thesis statement says, not only did ordinary household adopt these ideas or idea, but dukes, lords, and royal families also did the same. So I want to see in here that you were able to mention about ordinary households. Maybe you can elaborate further that you can say ordinary households can do the tasks, okay, by their own. Because within the family, they're helping one another. So those are ordinary households because they're not following instructions coming from the head. Okay? Although the father is the head of the family, the mother is the, what do we call the mother? It's the light of the family, right? So the father is the head of the family and the mother is the light of the family, but all of them, okay, do or do the work in order to come up with a very good outcome. Then you were able to mention about ordinary households, right?
yes,
Or if you wanted to compare this particular what do you say, this particular position or task within that households, compare that to the dukes, you can also do that one also, right? Okay, you can also say dukes, lords, and royal families also did the same, but they're not just doing the work. They hire someone to do the work for them because they have money to pay for their servant. So if we try to compare the ordinary households, okay, to dukes, lords, and royal families, okay, the tasks are not the same because the tasks does by ordinary households by themselves, but dukes, lords, and royal families do that through their servants.
I
Okay? So
yes,
you're able to capture everything about that. Although this one is related, okay? Your first stanza of your body is related to this one. Okay? But I wasn't I wasn't able to weren't able to see that here on your introduction part. But it's understandable because I wasn't able to explain to you. Yeah, I just only give you an idea about that, right? So it's understandable, Koi. Okay?
yes,
So never mind. But If you don't have a guide questions, this one is a very good essay. Okay, let's continue, huh? Actually, this one is good also because you were also mentioned about the families. Okay? The families because in our guide questions, it says here, where is it? Okay. Discuss whether families were larger in the past. So you were able to discuss about that, right? Okay. Next, let's try to look at the next one. So this is just only one paragraph.
There are three paragraphs of main body.
So this one is the third paragraph from the introduction.
The second,
Okay.
I need the third.
So your introduction is here. So introduction and then body. So this one is the first paragraph of the body. And then following after that would be the second paragraph of the body. Are this just only second paragraph or there are two paragraphs in here? One
No,
paragraph only?
one paragraph.
Okay. Now, one thing more. Okay, you should have to remember that sometimes in the paragraph, it should be um, not so the same because you're not going to count them, right? But of course, you should have to remember that sometimes in a paragraph form, you have to balance that one also. Okay? Okay, so you had just only two sentences in here. So therefore, it should also be two, three sentences in here. Okay? So maybe you can be able to what is one to separate this one with another paragraph. Okay, so that it will be balanced with your other paragraphs. Okay, look at your third paragraphs. There are a lot of words in here, right? And then after that, look at your fourth paragraph. Okay? So this one is also the same with the third. So this one is good, but your first paragraph. Okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. So I want you to remember that one also, Koi, huh?
And remember,
Okay, I'm going to read this. In general, families with lots of members provoke environmental degradation, and the procrastination in supplying vital services would happen constantly if the appearance of families with lots of members kept increasing. In addition, the more this appears, the more natural resources are consumed. That's good, huh? Eventually, this could lead to the destruction of the earth. Mm, why did you say that? That if there would be a lot of people, so meaning you are trying to say that if there are a lot of people in this world, of course, that may lead to destruction of the earth. Is that what you are going to say? You are going to point out in here?
that means when the family with lots of members keep increasing, so that means the world with overpopulation would can lead many harmful impact on the earth, such as flood,
Okay.
tsunamis.
Ex- yes. So supposed to be that would be the best explanation for that here. Why? Because if you wanted to put in here koi, someone might get angry with you. Okay? Maybe the readers will, huh? Are you sure that
Such
if this could lead to this destruction of the earth?
sure, I'm so
Yeah,
sure.
I know that you're so sure. But all I wanted to see in here would be that explanation. Okay, not just only this one. Because if readers would think of this one, oh, what's the effect of that? We know already that if too much population, there would be also a lot of natural resources that are consumed. And if that would happen, And if that would happen, there would be scarcity of resources because of that. That may lead to what? Okay, you have to change the word distraction, huh? Because this one is too, it's too, what is one?
Yes. The next.
Actually, it's scary. Okay, it's scary to read the word distraction. So maybe you can just have to say more humane one. Okay, not the word distraction. Okay, it may lead to um so what word we're going to change with the word destruction of the earth, because that would be scary to the reader if that would happen, right? You might scare our readers for that. So that may lead to um so maybe you can use the global warming,
Oh
right?
yes, yes.
You can use maybe the global warning. It will add to the global warning of the earth. And soon the earth will, do not use distraction, will,
Will lead to destruction.
no, do not use distraction because that's scary. Okay, I was reading it. I also scared. Okay, I was scared also. Oh, the earth will be extinct already. Will be in extinction, right?
Will blow.
So maybe may lead to global warming, okay? And there would be and time comes that the earth, okay? Or do not use also perish because it's the same with distraction. Or maybe do not use that one anymore. You just have to put in there it will add global warming. And that's period, okay? Do not scare your reader, huh?
Yeah.
Okay?
You're not
Because
scared.
if they will be scared, they will not going to continue reading your essay anymore. Okay? Because they will be scared. Oh, it's scary. I will not going to continue reading it anymore. Okay? So
Okay.
we are giving our readers information. Look at this one, huh? Going back to our essay. We are giving our readers of the,
Unknowledge.
yes, examples, knowledge, and experiences coming from a reader, but not a horror stories, right? Because if you wanted to write a horror stories, so it would also be different also, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it's distraction is a very very difficult words to use. That sometimes people may hurt, okay, because they don't want the earth to be
Be
distracted. Okay. So like also me, I don't want the earth to be distracted. So do not use that one anymore, okay?
yes.
Okay,
Okay.
next. Let's continue. Oh, so I wasn't able to read this one first. Okay, I have to read this one first. Okay.
Okay.
People living in large families, whether they feel struggle with the pressure that life puts on, consider their relatives as the shelter on which they can rely. Oh, very well said, huh? However, it may conducive. Now, I want you to make the I small letter, huh? Next
Yes.
time, Koi, ha? Because it's just only comma. So you just use only comma. It's
So
not a period, okay? Very good. Because after the words like this, you put a comma. So that's correct, okay? However, it may conducive to repercussions for them. Okay. Remember also, in using words, huh? Some readers don't understand difficult words.
yes, I know it.
So sometimes do not use difficult words as much as possible. Use words that is easy to understand. Why? Ask me, why, Koi?
Wait, but I think in I we should use difficult word to make our essay more formal. To
Okay. Yeah, of course, we can use that. But in an essay, remember, do not use difficult words. Okay?
yes,
Because the readers don't like to read difficult words because they couldn't understand that. So they will going to Google it, okay? So they don't have time to do that. And then after that, they will be what? They forgot what they read because of finding the meaning of that in the internet. Okay? So there would be times that, oh, I will not going to read this one anymore, okay? Because it's hard to understand. I couldn't understand that. Okay?
okay,
Okay, remember, not all people would understand repercussions. Okay, this one is a very difficult word. So, repercussions for them. For instance, while having lots of children in the same house, again, there.
oh,
Okay, now
but
in writing, you should be very careful of this. You know why? They might, they might find. Okay, remember this, IELTS personnel or examiner, okay, find mistakes, Koi.
yes,
They don't find for for the correct one, especially in writing. They find mistakes. They based your points on your mistakes. Okay, even single. Like for example, using grammar, especially grammar in writing, Koi, huh? Using of the tenses of the verb is very important. So once they found that you're not using the perfect of the tense, they will going to add that one to deduct that one to your scores. Okay, like this one there. So it should be small letter T. So their parents have to assume high education and financial support for each of their children, and they might bear financial burden. Very well said, huh? And not covering their children's basic needs such as medical services, accommodation, and education. Hence, they might not pay much attention to individual children. Consequently, this could lead to bad impacts on their children's mental health. Okay, you were able to what? To mention about
the
the comparison.
no disadvantage or happiness.
Ah, okay. So advantages and disadvantages of having a lot of family. What about this one? Comparison of comparing families today and families in the past.
Oh, in the second part,
Is
part
it in the second?
the second, the first of main body.
Okay, here.
Yes.
So in the country, families in the modern era are likely. Okay,
What about what?
what about discuss whether families were larger in the past? Where is that one?
I
Okay, you
never.
forgot that, right? Okay, so you weren't able to cover this one. See?
Wait,
So you miss points for this.
really? No, I asked communicate in the first of paragraph of main body. Although it's little short.
So you were able to mention this one. You discuss whether families were larger in the past.
Yes, I have compared in the
Where? Which part? Is it on the first paragraph of the body?
that's it.
Is it here?
Yeah, that's it.
Families in the modern era are likely to possess fewer people than ones in the past, for
Yeah.
some reasons, as changes in conception and cognition about culture and education. But
Wait.
where is this one?
Yeah, yeah. I think. I think
The comparison between families today and families in the past.
okay, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Okay? Or you missed, okay? You missed one keywords or important keywords in here, okay? Okay.
Yes,
But you were able um to do a very good essay. Okay? But I wanted to say that maybe um what is one? Maybe you can separate this one into two paragraphs.
yes,
Okay? Like for instance, while having a lot of, but actually all of this has connections. So you cannot separate this one. So what are you going to do would be add more in here. Okay? Maybe add 1 to 2 sentences more. Okay?
yeah,
So that it will be balanced now. Okay, because if you try to look at this one, it's more ideas compared on your first paragraph of your body, right? So
yes,
maybe add a little bit, 1 to 2 sentences must be very okay or very good. Okay, okay, and then this one is also okay, right? And then on the concluding part, having more children and people can bring nothing but
misery.
misery. Are you sure?
Sure.
Oh, it will be a negative impact again to the reader, especially those who have big families. They will going to hate you for this. So what are you trying to emphasize in here? Are you going to control? Okay, are you going to what is one? So what are you emphasizing in here?
I think,
Our readers might get angry with you, huh?
think
What about those who have a lot of family, big families?
it's okay, but I think having more children and people could lead to overpopulation and also lead to global warming. So I warning the people for keeping the people.
Yes, I
For,
understand that. But remember all the time, Koi, you are
yes,
just giving your own opinion. Okay? Maybe you have to give, okay, this is what you're going to do, huh? In the conclusion or concluding part, sandwich type. You know what's a sandwich type?
sandwich style. What is it?
Okay. Sandwich type technique would be positive first, and then after that, negative, so that they will going to understand the effect. So there would be cause
Oh,
and there would be effect. So you
yes,
have to explain in here the cause first so that they will going to understand, so that they will not going to hate you. Okay? So put in here the cause first and then little by little go to the
negative.
effect, which is that effect would be negative. You
Oh,
can say like this,
wow.
okay?
Okay.
But you have to say based on my opinion. Okay? Remember that all the time so that the readers will not going to get angry with you. You have to use all the time, especially in the conclusion part, because in the conclusion part, you need to give your own opinion and ideas. So therefore, you have to say to make it safe. Okay? Um, Based on my own opinion. Okay, you have to say that, huh? Okay, because if you're going to say, based on my opinion, having more children and people can bring nothing but misery. So you're safe there because that is just only based on your opinion, not based
On every,
on, yes, in general.
yes,
Okay? Or maybe to make it very, very safe, make it sandwich technique. Okay? That positive first and then negative. Cause first and then there would be effect.
yes,
Understand?
Yeah, understand.
Okay. So, we're not going to proceed, okay, with other lessons, not unless we perfect this one. Now, since I already given you my ideas, my understanding, I want you to rewrite this one based on the the things that I gave you, the points that I explained. Okay? You just have to write a little bit about this one. Okay?
Yes,
Remember the advices that I gave you in order for you to what? To make this perfect.
yes,
Okay? So how to do that one? Again, on your introduction part, you have to mention, I want to see there all of this in just only part of the introduction. I want to see on the thesis statement, okay, that you were able to mention about all of these things, but not explain it, huh?
yes,
And then I want to see the proper or in order sequence of the following guide questions based on your body. And on the concluding part, I want to see there, based on my opinion, sandwich type technique, positive first and negative, or
yes.
cause and effect. Did
Okay,
you get it?
you got it.
Okay, so that the readers will not going to get angry with you. Okay, they will going to love you. Okay, guys. Okay.
Okay.
So do you have any questions so far? So that would be your homework. Okay. And we will going to do that next meeting. Now, I want you to do the timer in doing that essay, huh? You have to do that for only 40 minutes.
Okay,
Okay?
okay,
So now it's okay. It's okay if that's more than 40. No problem because we are just practicing. Okay. But during the exam, you have to limit only. Sometimes it's less than that.
yes.
It depends on the questions. Okay. But if the questions compose of 5 to 6, so 40 minutes, actually 40 minutes is too long. Remember that, huh? It's too long. Okay? Once you have the idea, Koi, it's too long. Now, I'm going to give you also technique, huh? Listen
Yes,
to me, Koi. In writing, put everything. Okay? Put everything in your mind. Put that right. Okay? And then
yes.
after writing everything that is in your mind, okay, do it. Put that one in writing.
Mm,
Okay?
okay.
But remember, the one you wrote on your point or on your notes, connect them together. Make sure that there would be connections.
Yes,
Okay? And then after that, after writing it, forming it as a sentence, form that in paragraph form. And then after that, okay, double check that one again. Okay, oh, I think this one is not related with this one. So I have to omit this. I have to include this. I have to get there another and I have to put it there because this one is the best. Okay,
yes.
that is related to this particular keywords.
Mm,
So that's the technique. Or do, I already mentioned that one to you when we study the essay, do the diagram.
diagram.
Yes, right? That inside would be the key points. And then what are those? Okay, what are those sub points to remember? So that would be diagram. So we call that one as Venn diagram, right? Especially if you have advantages, disadvantages, you can do that. But of course, in essay, there would be no drawing, huh? But you can do the diagram in order for you to understand two things or something.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So I guess it's already time, Koi.
Yeah.
So I will not going to write that homework because you are just going to improve, huh?
Yes.
Okay? So I will not going to write that on the chat. Just remember that improve that one. And
Yes.
okay, do the timer. Okay, do the timer, but if you cannot do that within 40 minutes, it's okay, no problem, because we are just practicing. Okay, Koi?
Okay.
Okay, so
And then
thank you so much for your time. Do you have questions?
yes. From band 1 to 9, how much score do you score my essay?
How much?
How much score do you
I'm going to
design
give
my essay?
you. Okay. You want an honest to goodness answer coming from me?
Yes, criticize my essay.
Okay, I'm going to give you 6 for that out of 10.
See? Okay.
Okay? So there would be room for improvement, okay?
Sure.
Okay, 6 out of 10. So 4 points to improve.
Mm.
So actually it's pass. I give you the pass score because especially your writing. I know you're good in writing. So maybe we have to improve a little bit about organizations.
Yes.
So we need to do the organizations. It's there. The thought is there. You need to organize them. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. And if you can be able to organize them, that would be a perfect essay.
Mm.
Okay, Koi?
Okay.
Because the thought is already there. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you so much. Questions more? No more?
No question.
Okay. So good night. Have a good night and see you again on Saturday. Bye bye now.
Yes, goodbye teacher. Have a good
Okay. Bye
night too.
bye.
Until it's leave.